I want to be my best self, right? And you can't half-ass something like this. It's literally life-changing, so you want to do this right. Like, oh my god, just thinking about this, I'm like low-key trembling.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
I finally breathed in and out, and then I was out. I did not remember anything that happened. I just was out, and then I just remember being pushed on my recovery bed by a nurse, and she was asking me, do you feel okay? Apparently in the moment I said like, I feel nauseous. It's so weird that I remember that I said that, but I was like, I feel nauseous. I don't even remember feeling nauseous, but apparently I did feel nauseous. They were like, okay, don't worry, we're gonna give you an electrolyte solution through IV. And I heard my surgeon, and he was like, hi Amanda, it went really well, blah blah blah. And I was so groggy. Like, when all these people were talking to me, like my eyes were still shut. I was just listening to them talking to me, and I was kind of responding, but I was super groggy. I just woke up. I wasn't like fully awake, if you will. I was slowly waking up. I remember they placed me back into the recovery room, and then I was hearing my boyfriend's voice, and he was approaching, and I think they were telling him like, she's here. They were just talking to him. I remember him coming to the side of my bed, and that's when I kind of woke up after a bit. And I remember waking up and immediately asking him to give me some grape liquid ibuprofen because I was feeling pain apparently. I actually filmed this in my vlog. I took a bit of the liquid ibuprofen. Like, my eyes were still like closed. I just remember being very annoyed when I woke up for some reason. Like, I was super groggy and grumpy. Groggy and grumpy for sure. I just wanted to sleep and be left alone. That was pretty much it when I first woke up. After I was more fully awake, I was talking to my boyfriend. I was feeling fine. Like, I didn't really have much pain. Yeah, my boyfriend let me sleep a little bit, and then we were gonna head home. The nurses were really good. They took care of me if I needed something. I love that they gave me the electrolyte solution in my IV because I did not feel hungry at all. Like, you would have thought that I would have been so hungry when I woke up, and that's what I was really scared about too. Like, one of the things that really bothered me too is that I would not be able to eat, especially in the morning when I woke up at 5. I was like, if I don't eat, I feel nauseous. Like, if I don't eat or drink, I usually feel nauseous. Surprisingly, I was okay, and I guess when I woke up, thanks to them giving me the electrolyte solution, I did not feel nauseous. So if you're worried about feeling nauseous, definitely ask them to give you something through your IV. So I woke up from my little nap, and I was like, can we leave soon? And they were like, yeah, you can leave, you know, when you feel good. I think they were like, you can leave past a certain time if you feel well. So I basically got dressed and took out the IV and whatnot, and oh my gosh, I was bruised. Like, where they put the IV, I was literally bruised, and it was so sensitive to touch. So I was ready to go. They got a wheelchair for me, and my boyfriend pushed me away in my wheelchair in my pink zebra patterned slippers with my little husky plushie. And I was just like, we were just rolling out the hospital, and we took the wheelchair all the way to the car outside as well, and I was just being pushed like the queen that I was at the time. And I finally got to the car and had to wait for my boyfriend to come back, and then we drove home. I also forgot to mention that we went to the drugstore beforehand, before I got the surgery, to get all the drugs that I needed for that day. So when I got home, I took ibuprofen again. I remember having a bit of bleeding. I had a gauze in my mouth. To be honest, the bleeding stopped for me within like an hour after getting home, and I was so happy about that because I was nervous about the bleeding, like if it bled excessively, but thankfully it did not. So I took out my gauze and I drank Ensures. Then the pain started getting worse, and I was like, I took Advil, like what the heck. So we were like, okay, maybe you can take like Tylenol. So I took Tylenol, and it was still starting to hurt. The pain was not going away. Yes, I was prescribed an opioid, which was a much stronger painkiller, but I was scared to use it because when I called my oral surgeon office, they told me that, you know, really use this if you need to, and it could also cause nausea. And I was like, nausea is the worst feeling in the world. Like, I absolutely hate feeling nauseous, and I hate throwing up. And I was like, after getting the surgery, like, I do not want to throw up. So that's why I was really putting off taking the oxycodone for that reason. But I think near 8 o'clock or something, I couldn't handle it anymore. I started crying with the pain. I was really emotional and just irritated, and so I decided to take half an oxycodone, and oh my gosh, it really helped, and I went to bed. But don't do what I did, for real. If you guys feel like you're having pain, take the oxycodone, take whatever harder painkiller they give you, because you want your experience to be as comfortable as possible. Like, don't wait like I did till you have a lot of pain. Take your painkillers. It's better to be comfortable than miserable when you're recovering. So yeah, definitely when I get my double jaw surgery, I'm not gonna wait till I have excessive amount of pain for me to finally take something. Now I know that I didn't feel nauseous when I took the oxycodone, and I decided to take half first just to know how I would feel, and I felt fine. The first day was the hardest for me just for that reason, just because I didn't want to take the oxy, but the rest of the days were not too bad. The swelling kept getting worse every single day, but I would apply ice to the areas, and it was really, I think if I remember properly, I think it was about the 4th day when I woke up and my eyes were swollen too, and that's when I freaked out. I was like, the swelling is just getting worse and worse. I was scared that I would wake up the next day and I would not be able to open my eyes because the swelling was that bad. But I ended up just putting, you know, like ice, cold washcloths, and I was fine. To be honest, that was the worst of it. I think it was just like the stress of before the surgery that was the worst for me. And I'm hoping that next time when I get my double jaw surgery, I'm hoping they could give me something to relax beforehand, because oh god, like it's the panic attack 5 minutes before surgery for me. It was not fun. I'm not trying to be quirky. I just cope through the pain with humor, okay? Honestly, my anxiety before the surgery, I think that was the worst out of my whole experience. And I thought not being able to eat for 2 weeks was gonna get to me, but surprisingly, just by taking Ensures every day and I would have different pureed soups, I was full enough. Like, I didn't really feel hungry, which was great, because that was another thing that I was really worried about. I love to eat, I love food, so that was pretty worrying. But I basically had a purely liquid diet for 2 weeks straight, and I was not hungry at all. And we got pureed soups from the store too, to kind of, I don't know, just like eat something different than homemade soups. If you want like a variety, make a bunch yourself and maybe buy some from the store to like change things up. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, I look pretty darn terrible, that's another thing. But to be honest, I did not care at all. Like, while I was recovering, I couldn't care less what the heck I looked like. I was like, my body is doing something pretty darn incredible right now, so I don't really give a crap like how bad I look in the moment. The point is, I look pretty freaking good months after the surgery when my palate widened. So I'm not going to tell all the details that happened every single day that I was recovering, but if you want to see how I felt every day, go check out my SARPE surgery vlog that I made. But just, you know, overall, looking back, it wasn't that bad. There were definitely moments like my anxiety attack 5 minutes before surgery. There was the freaking pain the first day when I got home from the surgery because my dumbass did not want to take the oxy. Take the freaking oxy, okay? And then there was the morning that I woke up and my eyes were swollen and my face was like a literal balloon. And I kind of look like Barney apparently, I don't know, but I was not looking too great. That was another moment that was kind of shitty, but for the most part, I was really lucky. My boyfriend took care of me and was my emotional and physical support. I had him supporting me when I got home from surgery, like helping me up the stairs and stuff like that, because you're not supposed to do any exercise at all. Thank God for him and my family that made me soups and whatnot. Yeah, I think everything went how it should have went and everything worked out in the end. I had a post-op appointment with my oral surgeon, so I went to see him and he saw my mouth and he was like, wow, everything looks amazing. Everything really went well and we were all so happy to hear that. And he said, now you're gonna start turning your expander. At first I was like, I cannot open my mouth wide enough to do that. And he was like, okay, it's okay, just start in 5 days. See if you can open your mouth more, and I was able to. And so I got my boyfriend to turn the key of my expander every single day for 40 days straight. And so every night he would turn it for me. I can put like a clip on how he turned it. At first I was a little nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, is that gonna hurt? Is that gonna be like, is there gonna be a lot of pressure there? It ended up being fine. That was great. I did the 40 turns and I got a huge gap. Oh my freaking god. Like, I was worse than SpongeBob SquarePants. Like, literally, my gap was the size of a full tooth. It was so big, but like, I got through it. I went to school every day with my gap. Thankfully, I didn't get picked on. If I didn't have a bitch face, I feel like people would definitely pick on me because, oh my god, that gap was... Teeth gaps are beautiful, okay? I'm not trying to shame teeth gaps. My gap was not just a normal tooth gap. It was like, you're literally missing a tooth type thing. Once my gap was big enough, my orthodontist decided to put a fake tooth. I also made a video on getting my fake tooth, which a lot of people were interested in. However, I do want to say that that fake tooth was temporary. It was not a permanent fix. It was simply to hide my huge gap in the meantime while my expander had to sit there in my mouth so that my maxillary suture fuses again. And once my ortho could start closing it again, then he shaved down the tooth. So every time they would try to close the gap, shave the fake tooth a bit, close it, and then at one point it's like the fake tooth is getting too small, so we just removed it altogether and finally shifted one of my teeth. And then I had 2 gaps at one point, and then finally closed one of the gaps, and then I had 1 gap, and finally today I have no gaps. And I believe my tooth gap finally closed about a month ago from now. So wait, let's see when exactly. I want to be specific with this. My tooth gap finally closed the week of February 14th, 2021. So I had my surgery on October 7th, 2019 and started turning my expander 2 weeks after that. So yeah, it's been over a year. I think it took over a year for my tooth gap to close, but you can't forget that 2020 happened and everything had to shut down at some point because of COVID, so that also delayed my progress. So like, this is how long it took for me, but it could take way shorter for someone else or longer, who knows. Like, everyone's experience is different, right? But don't forget that, you know, COVID was also in the mix of this, and I had my surgery pre-COVID as well, so there are things that you might have to do today that are different that I had to do. And I'm gonna know that when I get my double jaw surgery. There's probably things that I'm gonna have to do differently because of COVID at the hospital and stuff like that. Definitely inform yourself about those things. But yeah, my gap closing took a long freaking time. All I gotta say, in the end, it was so freaking worth it, okay? Like, I do not regret it at all. Like, my orthodontist office told me the first time I saw them, they were like, nobody that got that surgery regretted it. Every single person after they got this surgery did not regret it one bit. They were really happy with the results, and I can confirm that. I'm also very much so happy.
So I just realized that I completely forgot to talk about getting my palatal expander removed, lol, oops. But I made a bit of it, or we even surprised, lol, go check it out to see how they removed it. Anyways, so I got my palatal expander removed on September 8th, 2020, therefore I had it for exactly 1 year and 4 days, geez.
So what you guys have all been waiting for is the before and after pictures / videos. So I'm going to be showing you guys that right now. So that's about it for my entire SARPE surgery / palatal expander experience. I hope this could help you guys, and definitely let me know if you want me to do the Q&A, because I'd be really down to do that for you guys. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram so I can make that a story. You guys can ask me all your questions. But that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and definitely subscribe to my channel if you like me and my videos so I can get to 1,000 subscribers and finally, you know, talk to you guys on the community tab. It'll make my life so much easier, and sometimes I go weeks without filming, and I love to give you guys like a heads up, like what the heck is going on type thing. Just be way easier to interact with you guys. So yeah, I would be very appreciated. Thank you guys again for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.